Welcome back to another early edition of the Hockey Nation live show. This is your host, Coach Frenchy, back in the booth of today is the NHL Draft Lottery 2021. We're going to have Michael Devellano in the next couple of minutes. I'm sure Michael is busy today. He's between Austin, maybe in Texas. I know I see him driving somewhere, so I'm going to put him and the show in the next couple of minutes. But before we start, we want to, like we do every single time, we welcome everybody. First of all, welcome Mr. Go Caps. Secondly, somewhere, somehow, maybe between Tampa or she's the number one Tampa Bay Lightning's fans of the Hockey Nation live show. Directly from Facebook, welcome Kimberly Shepard. And then, of course, we have a busy schedule today. We're going to talk about different things. Hopefully, we have more people going to join us. It's a very busy NHL night. Tonight, first, they are going to be the Lottery, NHL Draft Lottery at 7 o'clock p.m. And then we're going to talk today about the Bracket Challenge of the Hockey Nation live show. We're going to talk about the Vezina Trophy, the candidate, and who do you believe is going to win. And then we're going to talk about the NHL signature happening the last 24 hours, maybe 48. And then we're going to talk about the NHL Draft Lottery. Who is going to win tonight? Your prediction. We're going to talk about the game between the Tampa Bay Lightning, Carolina Hurricanes. And, of course, we're going to talk about the two games tonight on the schedule in the NHL and the North Division between the Montreal Canadiens and the Winnipeg Jets. Game number one. And then we're going to go to Colorado to watching the game between the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Colorado Avalanche. Game number two. We already know it's a number one already done. And the Colorado completely destroy the Vegas Golden Knights by a score 7-1. Can the Vegas come back and be stronger to give a better challenge to Colorado Avalanche? We're going to see this. We're going to talk about this. But before we start, we have to welcome Mr. Michael Frederick. Welcome aboard. And like we do every single time, we only do one thing. We only ask no money. We don't need donation yet. We're looking for you guys. Click on the likes. And that'd be the great things for us to do that. And that's what we have right now on the schedule. And, of course, we have to invite our guest, our co-host, Michael. Right now he's somewhere, somehow driving. So we're going to jump in right away with Michael Devellano. And welcome, Michael Devellano.
Good morning, Pierre. We have a lot of stuff going on today.
I know. Look like you are right now in South Africa?
South Africa. I'm in a Jeep. But that's in Texas. So.
How's the weather in Texas, Austin?
It's already 80.
Yeah, you go to land very quickly. It's hot during the summer over
hot
there for sure.
I think a pool might be in order.
Before we talk, Michael, we want to welcome two regular people, two big fans of the Hockey Nation live show. We welcome Mr. Yamo Vertanen and Michael Rosenblatt.
Hi, Michael. Hi, Yamo.
So everybody look like they are join us slowly, properly. Of course, middle of the week's already Wednesday. June 2nd, Michael. Today is going to be the NHL draft. We're going to talk about this. I'm going to shifting a little bit more, guys, on what we want to talk a little bit. But first of all, listen, it's going to be a great day, and we're going to start, about the trophy Vezina. And I want to mention here the three candidates of the trophy Vezina. We have Marc-Andre Fleury, we have Philip Grosberg for the Colorado Avalanche, and of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning, the goaltender Andrei Vasilevskiy. So my question to you guys and in the chat room, everybody right now in the chat room, who do you believe is going to be the winner of the Trophy Vezina? I'm going to start with you, Michael, and also tell us a bit why you believe this goaltender is going to win it.
Well, I think ordinarily Philip Grubauer would probably win, but Marc-Andre Fleury, I don't believe is won a Vezina yet, and he's had an absolutely phenomenal year. There was a lot of questions about his contract in the light that, Robin Lehner was signed, and he was started over Fleury last year in the playoffs. And I think he responded with probably his best season ever. I mean, he played phenomenal. Success that Vegas had in spite of injuries to like Alex Pietrangelo, which was a huge loss for a long time. They just kept winning, and I feel it was because of him. So I think this is Marc-Andre Fleury's year.
So you're going to Marc-Andre Fleury for a little bit, the veterans goaltender. Honestly, he's the oldest, on the one that have most experience in NHL, everything like that. So, Michael Rosenblatt is going to be with Vasilevskiy. I don't know yet what Yamo is going to be with, or Michael F. And I know Go Caps, he returned to the class. He have a class, Go Caps. Yamo is going to be Vasilevskiy, amazing in the playoff, but I think the trophy is for the regular season. So Yamo, after that, who do you believe is going to win it? And also, Michael Rosenblatt, Mike just mentioned to us, they just nominate the NHL, the Ted Lindsay Award, and it's going to be between Crosby, Matthews, and McDavid.
I think it's going to be really Crosby. I think you're going to have a hard time not giving everything to McDavid this year. I mean, it was obvious when they shut him down for 2 games. That was the machine behind Edmonton getting in the playoffs. He had a phenomenal 100-point season. I think he's going to win the Ted Lindsay.
Yeah. First of all, we have to welcome Michael. Maybe you never see him before, but James joined us a couple of times now in the live stream tonight. So we welcome James directly from Winnipeg Jets. Big fans of the Winnipeg, Manitoba. Big fans of the Winnipeg Jets. And he bring always great comments. So we're glad to have James this morning. But most of the people looking more for Vasilevskiy, but I think Yamo is looking more for Fleury for... he hope he will win more to anything else. He hope about that one over there. I'm going to surprise everybody. I'm going with Philip Grubauer.
That does not surprise me, Pierre, because I think ordinarily that's who I would think would win. I just think that there's a sentimental aspect to Fleury, because when is he ever going to get this opportunity again? And this is chosen typically by hockey writers. So I kind of feel like they might give it to him, but we'll see what happens. If you go based on the best season, I got to say, like I said before, Grubauer makes a ton of sense to me.
Yeah, I agree about that one over there. Tomorrow we'll go talk about the trophy, Ted Lindsay, for sure. That will be something we have to put on the schedule for tomorrow. That will be something. But also for some of you already participate, some of you did not because you did not know about that. But I want to show people, Michael, the challenge. Michael Frederick said he's agreed with Vasilevskiy because you're going to realize sometime the trophy, Michael, changed during the playoff, unfortunately. So they announced this for the season, but still you're going to see that some vote is coming to change. But I want to talk about this one here. Let me turn around this part. Trophy right here. And I want to congrats right now on I know it's very small, but Keegan is a number 1 on the Hockey Nation Live Show Bracket Challenge NHL. Number 2, Michael Rosenblatt. He's number 2 with 56 points. Mr. Colin Frenstadt, he is not here today, but his number is 3rd. New National Hockey New York Report, our best friend, he is number 4. Number 3rd with Colin. After that is Shane Summon, number 5th. We have Coach Frenchy with Yamo with number 6 and 7. And finally, number 8, the last one. We did not see him yet. That's maybe he did not show up. It's a Gator, Rock Tim at the bottom. But if the bracket can go all the way possible, Yamo and Coach Frenchy can win. But we expect also Michael Rosenblatt can have a very long stretch. until the end. So it'll be very interesting what's going to be the winner of that bracket challenge between people. We already know Mike Keegan, Edmonton is out, and Pittsburgh is out for Shea Salmon. So I think two of them, and Killorn with Pittsburgh also is out. So it still have a couple more people is going to be winning, possible to win. Vasilevskiy is having better playoff than any goalie out of the 7-0 team. At that moment, Michael, you're right. It's too early in the playoff to mention he's going to win and whatever he could happen about that part over there. Michael, I know you're driving. Not just have it all wrong. Yes, we are. We are all wrong for sure about to select number 34. Nobody select 34. One of us would pick Edmonton or Toronto. Michael, you're driving, so you have a good time to take about 2 more minutes. Guys, we have a lot of signature happening for the last 24 hours. I'm going to make a small video about 75 seconds and watch the video, and we can talk about after that about which signature are you impressive or you thinking about that. And let's start right away, right now. Here we go. So we have a lot of players sign up the last 24 hours from Jacob de la Rose, from Tail Weiss. We have a Kevin Connington with Florida Panthers. We have the Detroit Red Wings signing a new players, Wyatt or West Power, whatever his last name. We have Vegas signed Primo over there. So we have a lot of signatures. So that's the reason why I would prefer to make a small video and show to you that way, guys, so you can see a little bit more. We're going to review this video at the end of the show. But are you impressed? First of all, welcome, Mr. Steppenberg. James said he was thinking he would go with Philip Grober. I agree with you about that one over there. Michael Rosenberg liked the signature of Primo and Connington is still.
I don't understand the Primo signing. Do you?
I'm sorry again.
I don't really understand the Primo signing. Like, the guy's not even scored in the OHL. He's a big centerman. Like, what is his?
Yeah, it's a signature. Some of the signature, Michael, is go to. Did we lost Michael? I think we lost Michael. Possible we lost him. Maybe we'll come back a little bit later. Let me check in case if we lost him. I'll be back here. Yeah, so, all the signature we got yesterday, everything like that, it was a little bit like, a little bit impressive for some of them. It's funny to see Del Weiss return. Oh, he's back. Del Weiss return and play in the SHL, I believe. And then Michael is back, so let him back here for a few seconds. Here we go, Michael.
Sorry about that.
No problem, buddy. So, yeah. Primo signed. Some of the signature, Michael, are more minor. They are not major, right? So, it's not like, wow, this is like great, right? But it's funny to see Jacob de la Rose, because I want you to open up that one over there, because remember the trade between the Detroit Red Wings for him. And I think he was against Fabi, right?
Yeah, Robbie Fabry. Where did he sign?
And the Sweden Hockey League.
Oh, okay. I think that makes sense. I think he's struggled to gain a regular role in the NHL. He's a big guy. He's not very fast, and he doesn't have a high skill level. So he kind of became like a fourth line, two-way player, which was not bad, but he really did have a hard time distinguishing himself. I thought he did okay in Detroit. St. Louis, he wasn't going to get a sniff to play at all. So I think he might be making the right choice for himself.
And for everybody, he was signed he was drafted second round pick by the Montreal Canadiens. He never been the player everybody was expected. It's sad because if you watch him, he's a big guy. He's not like a small one. He's 6'4".
6'3", 6'4".
Oh, yeah.
But I think, so the insight that I have, because our director of player personnel for the last 3 years was Alvin Backus, and Alvin was with Montreal then. And they drafted, for a period of time, these really big players like McCarron and De La Rose, but they didn't have a high skill level. And they really, when the game got faster, just struggled. And their philosophy changed. And that's, people kind of joked that they would have Smurf-like players, like small skilled guys, but they stopped looking at size and they started going for speed and puck skills and hockey sense with grit and determination. And that seemed to improve their overall fortunes. And guys like McCarron and De La Rose just have not been able to stick in the NHL.
I agree with you about that. We want to welcome Mr. Daryl. Good morning, buddy. Hopefully you're ready for your little coffee. And of course we have, like it's some people don't make it properly. It's not easy. That showed to us it's not easy to make NHL. It can be draft first round, second round, third round, in any round. It's not easy.
No, I mean, they did nothing wrong. They weren't lazy. It just, their style and skill set didn't keep up with what was changing in the game. It just became so much faster the last 5 years.
Yep. 2 new subscribers happening, Michael, yesterday. We welcomed them this morning. Yoshi and Cédric Valois. Bonjour, Cédric. Welcome, everybody, this morning. We have a busy schedule, like we said earlier. Michael, we have a couple of more things we want to share with people about that. Honestly, I want to talk about the NHL draft. We talk about the Vizna. We talk about the challenge now. The NHL draft happening tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And
the draft lottery.
The lottery is happening tonight. You can see on the right there, Mr. Mattman. Welcome aboard, Mattman. C'est bonjour à Livia. Elle est à la maison ou pas. So said hello to Livia. We see on the board right now, Michael, Buffalo 16.6, Anaheim 12.1, and Seattle Kraken 10.3, and you can go all the way to the bottom. But before we start, we want to mention they have new rules this year. And the prior those draft, Michael, it was 3 picks, right? The first, you can jump into third, second, and first, and winning the lottery draft. This year, they're changing. So they bring to only 2 at the top of the draft. See, number 3 don't exist anymore. And then second thing, you cannot jump for more at 10 position. Does it make sense?
Yep.
And then the finale for 2022, Michael, not this year. The winner of a 1 and 2 cannot do more at 2 times during 5 years.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, they keep trying to compensate, they've messed this up so bad. I think there was such a backlash because Edmonton kept winning it, and Detroit keeps getting screwed.
Yep. Exactly. So that it was one of the reasons why Detroit right there about that one over there. And I think, Jim, you're right about this 2 years over and over. You're absolutely right, James, also about that one over there. So we have to see the board right there. I agree with you, James. And what we want to do, Michael, is to do, like sharing with the people around here is because I did a video, it's going to be live afternoon, not live, it's going to be on the hotel, on the Hockey Nation Live show a little bit later. I did my prediction, who's going to win. And I want you to tell us a little bit, what do you believe, who is going to be the lucky one tonight, number 1 and number 2. We don't want to go all the way to the bottom, but what do you believe on the odds and everything? And people on the chat, please, who do you believe is going to be your number 1 and your number 2 on that draft tonight?
Oh, as far as winning it?
Yep.
I think Seattle actually has a really high chance of getting in the top 2.
Yep.
Which I don't necessarily. I think that's fine just because of the type of year it is, and I think anyone 1 through almost 8 or 10 are very similar, so it's fine. It would be great to see Detroit win, and what's weird is Ottawa.
Yeah.
So I think it'll probably be Seattle and Detroit, and those are sentimental.
Seattle,
choices.
the Creek, and Detroit. Michael Rosenblatt, he go with the Kraken, the Seattle Kraken and Buffalo Sabres. Bonjour, Cedric. And I don't know, James or maybe Yoshi or Daryl or Michael F. or Yamo or Stefan. Who is your winner of your top 2 tonight? Who's going to win? We're going to be live, by the way, tonight, Michael, to do that draft. And I'm going to, of course, jump in about that. James go with Buffalo and Detroit. Yamo go with Columbus, Blue Jacket. And who's number 2, Yamo? Yoshi's go with New Jersey or Anaheim. Yamo because Yamo. Yamo because Yamo. Yeah, of course, yes, Yoshi is a long shot, but everything could happen on that. Happened last year with the New York Rangers, to be honest with you. Yamos go back with Anaheim also, number 2 after Columbus. Anybody else? I'm going to show to you. I don't know if we can see it properly here, but we'll see. I'm going to show the bottom of my video right here. And my number 3 is the Buffalo Sabres. My number 2, the Detroit Red Wings. And number 1,
let's hope,
the Anaheim Ducks. They are my pick of the day today, of tonight at 7 o'clock. So it was my pick. I create a video so you can see a little bit of the design of that one over there. Where is Piccola? Because it's still too early, Yamo. Usually he show up about 12 o'clock. So we're going to see what Piccola is, and we'll see about that one over there. So that's what happening about that, Markel. But at the same time we talk about this, I want to bring to you, and I think the people like that to talk about a little bit the prospect. And this is the list Markel was made on May 21st by the Elite Prospect. So it's not like our choice. It's not like we're thinking. But I want you to maybe talking about imagine the Rangers win back-to-back first pick of the first round. I think they cannot win because, is it possible because they cannot jump over 10 spot, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I
was my understanding.
I tried about that. One more thing we want to mention, everybody, also the Arizona Coyotes are forfeit, so they cannot win the draft. And one thing, Michael, I'm not going NHL, he said, if they win, we have to do it again. So what's the point to let them inside the lottery when you already know they cannot win?
Who?
Arizona.
Oh. Are they in the draft lottery?
They let them inside for the first round pick, but they cannot win because they are forfeit because what happened last year with
so they'll just skip over them.
I just said, like, why'd you let them there? Like,
so weird.
I know. They let them there. If they win, we have to do it again. That's
so weird.
I know. So there was a big conversation about that one yesterday. But I don't know, Michael, you can see that the next one I did very small, but I don't know if you can see those names. But maybe talking about the first 10 people quickly, everything like that. This was not, again, this is made by Elite Prospect. It's not the one where it's going to be the final. Lots going to chance, but maybe have some name over there. You may be thinking about that.
I can't really see it. Yeah, I think it's a weird year, but I do feel like Owen Power will probably be the top pick. I've seen some rankings that have Benners at the top, and I don't see it personally. He was ranked pretty low before. He did have a great World Junior, but I'm not even sure how he's just a year older than everybody, and that always makes me leery. I think Owen Power probably has the most complete package that you would want, because he's like 6'5", he can skate, he's got good offensive instincts, and he can play well defensively. And he was on a real powerhouse Michigan team. We're probably going to see a bunch of Michigan guys go in the top like 12. So for me, I think it's, it depends who ends up finishing overall first, like getting the first pick. But I do think it'll be Owen Power that goes first overall.
Yeah.
Second gets a little cloudy for me, just because of all the chat about Benners. I have a hard time seeing him. I think there'll be a run on defenseman if Owen Power goes first. So second, I could see Edvinsson. You might see a forward go third, like Eklund. Benners probably goes around there, and then Luke Hughes. Brant Clark's probably in that mix. I think Mason McTavish is going to move up in the draft, Pierre. I think that you're going to start seeing him jump up right around where Dylan Guenther and Kent Johnson are. Yep. So you're probably going to see those guys. And I'll be very curious to see if Detroit ends up with the 6th or 7th pick. Do they go for a goalie like Wallstedt? Because they're really lacking that really high-end goalie prospect. Now, there is another goalie prospect later in the draft, which would be the Edmonton goalie, Sebastian Casa, but I expect somewhere around 6 to 9 to see Wallstedt go. And then I really like Chaz Lucius. I think in any other year, Pierre, Chaz Lucius goes in the top 6. I think he's probably as good or better than Guenther and Kent Johnson. So that would kind of round out my top 10, I believe.
Michael was going to ask a question to you, Michael. What do you feel about Luke Hughes?
So I've watched Luke. He's bigger than his brothers. He's a very, very good skater like they are. I don't think he's got good offensive instincts, but he doesn't necessarily have the total creativity of his brothers. But he's a very good prospect. I think he's going to be a top pairing defenseman at some point in the NHL.
Okay.
He'll be a top 2 eventually.
For the people in the chat, if you can also first, if you don't mind, to click on the like, that'd be great. But second thing, well, I know some of you did maybe not the knowledge of Michael has on the prospect return that, but I was just curious, guys. Give us 3 names you believe they're going to be that you don't have to be 1, 2, and 3, but 3 names you believe they will be the top 3 prospect you believe for the upcoming summer in July 22nd, 23rd when the NHL is going. You can try it. You can have any question you want to know about Sven players is on the board right now. You want Michael to talk about them. It's the time to do that. Mr. Alexis Dubik is not here, Michael, but he's the guy. He freaking out a little bit about the draft, and he's not here today. We almost did it for him. No, just kidding. But if you have any question about that, I agree with you about that. I would say to you, Power, Eglon, and Bernier are my top 5 right there. And then after that, I'll be honest with you, from 4, 5 until 10, 12, it's going to be a really strange draft, by the way, this year. Very I don't strange. See it, you know what I mean? It's crazy when you see that draft, to be honest with you. But again, I want you to maybe the time with people would answer that question, Michael. On the top 32, forget the one on the right side, the top 32 from Coro Nato to Lambos, Robinson, and Brass, Leroux, and those people, do you see one or the 2 of them say, you know what, that would be surprised. I would put them like maybe 10 lower, or maybe 8, 10, 12, 15 lower ranking, or what you see on that one over there?
I mean, Carson Lambos seems to be falling, which I don't necessarily know if that's justified. Carson is a really pretty high-end defensive prospect. Maybe he ends up being kind of like a number 2, 3. So I think Adu Radi will continue to fall, and I think Casa will move up, the goaltender. And then, the question is, I think Cole Sillinger, his dad, Mike Sillinger, is an NHL player for a long time, maybe the most traveled NHLer ever. Cole will be probably top 15, I think. So he's steadily kind of moved up, and he might even sneak in the top 10.
Okay. Anybody else on the list? If not, I have a question for you.
Well, the other one is Chibrikov. So that'll be interesting because I think normally Chibrikov would be higher if he wasn't Russian.
Okay. Now, I have two questions for you because I see something else. First, let's talking about OnePlus. And he have an amazing, great year this year with the Chicago Steel. Play with Sean Farrell. Farrell, he got 100 points, everything like that. And, and I don't say because he get a point, he are great. But I want to maybe talk a little bit more about Matthew Coronato with the Chicago Steel. Do you feel like he's going to be maybe 25, 23, 20, or really he is really where he should be?
So I'm trying to think of what his birth date is, if he's an overager. He's an East Coast guy, and then he played I think did he play in the CSSHL?
I believe he's OHL.
No, he played USHL. He played with the Chicago Steel, right?
No, this year, but it's not him. Farrell came from OHL and he jumped on USPHL.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm confused. Who are you asking about?
I'm talking about Coronato, but my point to you is like, you're right, you play this year, but usually if you have no COVID, they will start with OHL. That was my question.
Coronato was supposed to start in the OHL?
Yeah, or not?
Or I don't know, because he's supposed to go to Harvard, so I didn't think that was going to happen.
Okay.
And he's it's interesting because he played in Long Island, right? So he played in New York, which was an odd place, New Jersey Colonials and Long Island Gulls. And we've seen some guys come out of there. He played in the OHL Cup with Elite Hockey, which is kind of like top U.S. guys. But I didn't think that he was going to go OHL. Who was he supposed to go OHL with?
I don't know. I know Farrell was with Peterborough, I believe. But I was just curious if Corona.
Oh, Barry.
Yeah. So
he was drafted by Barry.
First of all, welcome to Carey Price. Carey Price is with us this morning. Carey is the chef and the cook of the Quebec. And my second question about is because on the list I have right now in front of me, I see the top first round and you see the average player silver stick, and I know you scout with them. Is it Olin? Is it Olin Zellweger?
Listen, if you saw the under 18s, if you watched that, Olin is a high-end offensive talent. He's a very good defenseman. He's not big, but he's strong as like a bull. He's like maybe 5'9", maybe at the most 5'10", but I don't think you worry too much about that. He's so smart, Pierre. So when you saw him in the play for Canada, he was on the first power play unit. He was playing with very high-end players like Shane Wright and Connor Bedard. And you compare him to the guy that they say has genius-level hockey IQ, which is Brandt Clark. He's a much better skater than Brandt Clark. And I think I don't see, what's the difference between Brandt Clark's hockey IQ and Olin's? I would be shocked. I would not be shocked to see someone pick him in the first round. I think at the latest he goes second. If not, people are making a mistake. They're sleeping on him.
He's right now 31, right?
Yeah. Is he up at 31 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that does not surprise me because originally he was kind of in the 50s, and I think he's a first-round pick to me. If I look at the other options there, and I know that kid, when we drafted him, and I do the weigh-ins for camp, I think he weighed $140, so 140 pounds when he first came to us, maybe 5'7". The year he came back, I barely recognized him, Pierre. I think he was 178 pounds.
Yeah,
he took his training very seriously off the ice. And he's just he sizes things up. He's so talented. I think he's a great prospect.
My next question is, Yamo is 30 Celsius from James. No, Yamo is 30 Celsius. So it's like 80. He's talking about the weather in Winnipeg. Jim gave him
okay.
an answer. And then finalize this one over there. I would say to you, not my only concern, but Mike, he is like he's number 9 and 10 as a defenseman in the draft. So that's gonna be the reason maybe he cannot go higher, like very high, because you have so many defensemen this year, like a normal year. Does it make sense? Like usually you can have 5D or 6D as a first round pick. Right now we have on this list, Michael, 10 of them are on the top 31. That's crazy.
Again, like if you're ranking Brandt Clark in the top 10, which I think everybody is, and then you see him side by side with Olin, I have a really hard time believing that Olin doesn't keep moving up.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
not saying you're not right. I just said it's a difficult year this year. Like maybe a year prior or a year after, he could be like the 20 or 19 because you have a lot
I bet you he moves up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because I think the only knock you might say is height. And I don't know if you care about that when you watch him.
Yeah.
So
my last question, I want to talk to you, and maybe you tell that's I'm going to name just the last name. Sediger.
Who?
Morrow. Stillman. Nilsson.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
my question, Michael, is not about them. It's about the last name. There was some of the family or uncle or dad play in NHL. My question, or McDavid also, are they relate to the dad or the family, or you don't know about them players, or they are?
Well, yeah, Stillman is Corey Stillman's other son, and he played for him in Sudbury.
Okay.
And he's a pretty highly rated player. I don't know if he's like a top end prospect, but he's a good prospect. And we saw his brother sign a contract. What were the other names?
Also, we have Oscar Allison. Do you think is the dad of Allison play with Winnipeg Jets?
Oh, Frederick's kid?
Yeah. Do you think he's him?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Let's look.
So we have him. Then we have also Scott Morrow, play at Shattuck St. Mary's right now. Do you believe
is that Zach's kid? Or
what?
Brendan Morrow's kid? Is that Brendan Morrow's kid, or who's?
That's what I thought. That's one of my question to you.
That's Shattuck.
Yes, yeah, so that was my question to Michael.
Yeah, I don't see anything for Olison being related. It doesn't look like it.
Okay.
And the other kid was Morrow, right? What's his first name?
Scott Morrow.
I don't know about that. Let's look. He's a 2002 defenseman. So it's interesting. There's a lot of overagers in this draft, aren't there? I don't see him related to anybody. He's from Connecticut.
So he's not related with Ken Morrow?
I don't see a connection there on elite prospects, but...
The next one is Stillman, Chase Stillman. Michael Rosenblatt will talk about maybe the brother, Roddy Stillman.
Yeah, and his dad is Corey Stillman, who is the coach in Sudbury, or was the coach in Sudbury, and played in the NHL with Calgary and Hartford, maybe.
His sons play there right now in Sudbury.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Corey Stillman is like my age. Well, no, his dad is Corey Stillman.
No, I thought you said his dad was coaching there.
Yeah, his dad was a coach in Sudbury.
Okay, so the dad is there and the son played for him over there.
Yeah, both sons did.
Okay.
Another one is interesting. Is his father-in-law is Bud Stefanski, and Bud Stefanski was the general manager of the St. Mike's Majors in the OHL.
Just to answer to James, he asked a question. Yes, James, and those lists is May 21st, and it's one of many lists you're going to see until July. So it's coming from elite prospects. So some you're going to see Bernier number 2, number 3, and the list changing every day by different people, expert. I would just pick one here just to show to you guys, maybe to starting to learning. Hockey is great to be a fan of your team, but it's good to learn your prospect. Michael Rosenblatt, this is something you need to learn quicker and better for you. What about Mason McDavid? This is the uncle of the Craig McDavid?
Not related to Craig. He's related to Dale McTavish.
Okay. Yeah.
So Dale McTavish played a little bit in the NHL.
Yeah.
But my understanding, I don't think there's any relation to Craig.
I see. I understand. My last one, I think it was Liam Dower Nilsson. So I don't know Steph from Sweden here in the chat knows him. He played for the J20 National from Frölunda, HCJ20. Nilsson, I was thinking in my head Ken Nilsson, but again, I could be wrong. It was just
Ken
to mention
Nilsson's
the name
son
here.
was Robert.
Robert Nilsson?
Like Kent Nilsson. Robert Nilsson was a draft pick of Edmonton, and that was, or the New York Islanders maybe. It was one of the two. He played for both, but he that's who was related to Kent Nilsson. I don't know if he has any other sons or anything. And Kent Nilsson, or let me think, Kent Nilsson's like born in 55. So let's take a look here. What's this? Let's look at Kent.
Yamo said so many Nilsson in Sweden.
56.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah,
and then he
that's a
said,
very
do you
common
believe,
name.
Michael, maybe you don't know this. Maybe you can tell us. Do you believe Owen Power is related to Austin Power?
Yeah. You know what's interesting? I didn't realize. Oh, he had another son. Kent Nilsson's the son that got drafted was Robert Nilsson, and then he had another brother named Anders, but Anders is actually a scout or was a scout with the Phoenix Coyotes
Anders
for a while.
Nilsson played in NHL before that, I believe.
It's a different Anders Nilsson. It's not the goalie; it's a defenseman.
Okay.
And he was born in Minnesota because his dad played in Minnesota when he was born.
But Anders Nilsson played in NHL, right?
No, those are two different Anders. Not that Anders Nilsson. There's another Anders Nilsson that's the goalie in Ottawa.
Okay.
That's the Anders Nilsson.
All right. Okay. But the name Anders Nilsson playing in NHL, that's my point.
Yeah, but not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same person we talk about.
No.
All right. So that show a little bit more, guys, about that one over there. And of course, we won't talk about hockey, about what's happening last night, what's happening tonight. We still have 15 minutes to go. But Michael, I want to show something I got this morning, and just give you the little bit the 8 team. Yes, Michael Rosenblatt. We can see the last 8 team in the NHL with friend and information and everything like that. But before we jump here, guys, before we talk about this. And I was shocked. I did not remember that one over there. And you guys, Michael, and people in the chat, do you remember or do you believe it's right, it's true, false? The goaltender for the Carolina Hurricanes, Nedeljkovic, he was on the waiver list from Carolina this year. Yes or no?
No way. What? No.
Do you believe the Carolina Hurricanes waive Nedeljkovic at some point this year? Yes or no?
That's weird. Did they?
Michael Rosenblatt said, yes, I believe.
What? Wow, that would be crazy if it was true.
I know the answer, but...
So did they waive him? To go to the minors? That would be crazy if that's true.
So
Man, everybody slept on that.
The answer is true. He was waived
that's amazing.
at the first month of the year. And
Wow.
everybody like Edmonton Oilers. Imagine if we pick him. But he was an average of 5.38 at some point. You have only 5 game or 10 game in NHL.
Yeah, that's what an oversight. Can you imagine if you're Detroit or Edmonton or even Buffalo? Why wouldn't you grab that guy?
Yeah. Because you have an article in French where on Twitter he said, Edmonton Oilers make a mistake. And I told him, I say, yes, but not only them. As you have 30 other team, I'm sure 5 of them, they would love to have him right now in the
Oh my
net.
God, yeah, big time.
Maybe more at 5, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before we talk about the last game last night for a couple of minutes, then tonight, Michael, I just want to show to you a little bit like a graphics where, and you know, this friend categories of the team, and I'm very impressed by Boston Bruins on that graphic, to be honest with you. They are, like with Vegas, the two team and Tampa have only one no. And you talk about the elite number one center, and all the team have one, and then Montreal and the Winnipeg Jets don't have one. A bit strange about the Winnipeg Jets. 1C.
The Winnipeg Jets absolutely have an elite center. What are you talking about?
When you talk about the NC, right? So they talk about a player with, they have like 80 points, something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like top of the
Mark
top.
Scheifele?
Well, I think for me, they put him on the left wing. That's why.
Mark Scheifele on the left wing?
Yeah, he played a lot this year on the left wing. Because the situation with the injuries, everything like that. So he played a lot of game on left wing.
I mean, I don't know. He's a pretty elite player. Like he had 63 points and
he struggled, you know, at some point, but he getting back right now. But he stopped at 55 points for many months, like many weeks. But that's the situation about that one. Now the elite first line winger, Boston have yes. The Carolina Hurricanes don't have one, and the New York Islanders don't have one. Montreal don't have one.
Wait, you're saying they don't have an elite left winger in Carolina?
And Carolina, yeah, elite. They have Ao.
Is that which is a centerman? Svechnikov would be what, right wing?
He's not yet an elite. He's close to be. Struggled again this year, but he is going to be an elite one day. But I believe on that one over there. I think they considered Barzal like as a center on that one, so they didn't put him there. Montreal don't have an elite, like, you know, the top at the top.
I think Barzal's definitely. I think the only reason Barzal's like numbers aren't higher is because he's playing for Trotz.
But also his time is really high. He played a lot of minutes about that one over there. But, you know, we don't want to pass our time on this, but just sharing with you, it's something like that where, you know, to show what they describe a team, everything like that. You can see Montreal are the lowest on that board, and they may be the lowest bet, you know, the number 8 team in that list is really Canadian Montreal, where I believe it's right. And I'm surprised by the number of the Boston Bruins. They have a lot of check on that one. I was impressed when I saw that. I knew already Tampa Bay, Colorado, and Vegas. But, you know, Winnipeg and Montreal, not many. And then Boston, impressive about that one. So let's move on, Michael, about the game happening last night. What do you think about the New York Islanders and, of course, the...
Well, the Tampa game last night?
Yeah.
I mean, Carolina scored late, but it just felt like Vasilevskiy stole that one. They were outshot significantly. Tampa only had like 15 shots on net.
Yep.
So, you know, as much as Nedeljkovic has played well, that he's been the difference between him and Vasilevskiy. I said that in the first game. Like, you know, he kind of had that mistake in the first game. So you're seeing like Tampa doesn't get they don't need a lot of opportunities to capitalize on it. They have just so many weapons and so much experience. And, you know, I don't know, they got outshot 31-15 or something. So, Vasilevskiy absolutely stole that game.
It was all about Vasilevskiy, to be honest with you, last night. I think it's funny because I always describe Michael a series like this: good, bad, and ugly. Last night, you got a bad game for Tampa Bay overall and a great game for the goaltender, right? So to have a chance to Carolina have to play, they have to give them a lot of back. So it's going to be harder and harder. Yamos and Nikas have a good chance to score. Unbelievable, the one he missed.
He's so dangerous.
Yes, James. The Jet in Montreal got smoked on that list.
Like he's going to be interesting in a year, Pierre. Like he's just the trajectory he's on. Like he's going to be a very. It'll be interesting to see if they keep him on the wing, or if they play him at center. But he's so talented. He's just an impressive player.
I agree with you about that one over there. Nikus, I like the way he played, the way he skate. You know what I mean? Michael Zimplat said the Cariners should call the Panthers skill coach about that. It was a PK, the Nikus chance, if I recall it. Yes, you're absolutely right. It was a PK, 2 versus 1, and a great pass. And the funny thing about this is Vasilevskiy was out of the net. Like, he was completely beat. He was, like, completely right, and then he was on the left side, and he missed the net. That's it. He only had to push the puck in the net. So, really, how do you feel now to see Tampa Bay winning the first 2 games in Carolina, where, it's not easy to play, the fans over there, everything like that. So how do you feel now for the rest of the series? Expect, like, Tampa winning? If yes, how many games now you see a shorter series compared to many experts was thinking the series is going to be all the way to the end?
I thought it was going to be 6 or 7 games, but now it kind of looks like a 4 or 5 game series.
You don't expect now Carolina's come back?
No way.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense for me. The worst case could happen, maybe 6. Maybe Carolina can win 1 of the 2 over there, and then you win again at home to be 2 of the next 3 games, and then back in number 6. That would be the worst I can see right now. That series, honestly, if not, Tampa Bay is going to again go all the way, and I don't see anybody can stop Tampa Bay. But no, not true, because the next thing they can pick is Boston Islanders.
Boston or Islanders definitely have an opportunity, but I mean, even at that, like, Tampa's pretty damn good, Pierre.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'll be interesting to see the next one over there. Of course, tonight we have 2 big games. Of course, we talk about the Montreal Canadiens. Everybody is, shocked, everything like that. We talked a little bit yesterday between everybody. Michael, we have already 32 people did the prediction of the series I got last night during the show. And then we would like to know your prediction. What do you expect about that series? And what is your, your comments about the series coming? Who is going to be the X factor? What do you see could happen?
I don't think you're going to intimidate and push around Winnipeg the way that Toronto was. I think the third line in Winnipeg is going to have a huge impact. I think that Lowry line is really effective. And the big players, like, you're not going to shut down Connor. You're not going to shut down Shifley. Blake Wheeler, if he's healthy, is good. I don't know what Dubois might pick up his game because it's Montreal, like there might be a little bit of something extra there. And you're just going to get consistent performances from Stasny, and Ehlers might be the X factor. I just think there's too many weapons in Winnipeg. I see them winning this in 4 games to 2. And I think they'll probably take the first game.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a 3-1 or 3-2 first game.
And overall, what your expectation for the series? How many games do you believe the Jets are going to win?
Like I said, 6 games, 4 games to 2. I think Montreal will get some Carey Price heroics. I think there'll definitely be some games that it's a goalie duel. But in the end, I think the Jets will solve them.
Okay. Yeah, I think my pick would be like with Jet and 6. You know what I mean? And James said Tampa, he think the series is going to be soon possible. Like, he believes like the series is not going to go 4 or 5 games from James. Yamo said Heller is fast guy, always dangerous. And Yamo, not only him. I think Kyle Connor always find a way. I think they need to be sure Montreal cannot give a lot of power play. I think their power play is better to Toronto, in my book. More successful. Oh, yeah. So Montreal cannot be in the penalty box. I think it will be a hard game for tonight for Montreal. They played so many games the last couple of days. Winnipeg sit home waiting for that for about 10 days right now. People said, don't worry about that. Maybe one period they will be tied a little bit, but after that you're going to see at the end of the game. I wouldn't be surprised to see 4-1 tonight, where Winnipeg is going to be like more I don't see a 2-2 game. I don't see, at least Carey Price is unbelievable, but I think Jets for tonight have an advantage.
Yeah, I think you're right.
For that game.
I'm not sure it'll be a total blowout, but we're going to find out. It all depends on Carey Price.
Yep. If I said to you one players and then everybody else can join the conversation, you're welcome. One on both teams, I think it will be more realistic to say that one player you believe can make a difference, and one player for Montreal and one for Winnipeg. For everybody else also in the chat, who do you believe he could be that players can sell you? Because of him, Montreal win, and because of him, Winnipeg win or more chance.
I mean, I thought Brendan Gallagher started to come on at the last series, so I would look, if he can get some more offensive production, he could have a real impact. Like, he looked pretty dangerous, but he also might struggle against a big team. But I think he's going to be real on the edge, and I think he might have a bit of a difference for Montreal. Obviously, Carey Price is always going to have a difference, but for me, they need some scoring up front, and I kind of think Gallagher might be part of that equation. In Winnipeg, my gut's telling me that Scheifele is just going to be a real pain for Montreal to handle.
Yeah. James said, I think I agree with him. PLD, Dubois need to show up at least. And that if he show up, that will make a difference for me because he just add more munition, more on the Winnipeg Jets. So I agree with him. Michael Rosenblatt said Price and Pionk. I would say to you, Price, I don't think so. Pionk would be the different on my book. I would not take Pionk on that one over there. It would just add good defensemen, but I don't see him make a difference on that series. I think Michael, you're going to be agree with him. You think Hellebuck needs some stop, and that one for sure. Hellebuck is the guy.
He's so good.
All the goaltender are there. I'm talking about, Nedeljkovic with Rask, with, like Varlamov is there, Kruber is there, Fleury is there, Carey Price is there. I think Hellebuck is maybe the best of the top player over there in my book. Maybe not show all the time, but he's a guy can make a difference like Carey Price in the net for them. I said the Captain Wheeler and Captain Weber on of the eyes for Yamo. He was struggling a bit during the regular and a little bit from round one. That was Yoshi about Hellebuck. I'll be honest with you. I it's funny you said that, but because you really nailed it yesterday. I believe for me, Michael, it's the third line of the Winnipeg Jet can make a big difference over there. Where, you can say, and a player, I think, will go that, and then sometimes you put him at top 6, but I think he's now played top at the bottom 9, or the third line. It's Andrew Coop. So I believe Coop can make someone there where, you have to watch Ehlers, you have to watch Corner, you have to watch Wheeler and Sheffley and Stastny and Dubois. That's 6 there. Now I say, wait a minute, you still have Lowry, you still have Appleton, you still have Coop inside that. And I think that's the one I would believe for. It could be a friend right there. And for Montreal, I believe for me, is going to be they need Josh Anderson. Josh Anderson have to step up to play. He is a guy who can score goal, but he's not there yet. He have only one goal the last 23 game yet. And I think they need his offensive, not only his power stronger, his power forward, speed, physicality, but I think they need him scoring goal. If he can do that, I think that will help in the Montreal Canadiens.
It would definitely help. The way he scores goals feels like he's either scoring in transition on the rush or one-on-one, and I think that's really tough in the playoffs. So if you don't have a setup man for him, I'm not sure those other two ways work. So it's going to be interesting. He's dangerous and he's big, and I like those aspects of his game, but it's definitely a different season right now, and it's affecting the way he's able to produce.
Yeah. And then James McKenna, he brings something because now he opened my eyes also. But he said Montreal is good at shutting down the speed and the counter attack, which is how Winnipeg got most. The chance again in Moncton. It may not be enough to beat Winnipeg, but he can take some game. It's not a bad point. I think you have a Montreal, and I think Philippe Danault did. So I believe Danault have to do exactly what he did with Matthews, all right? But here's what I would say to you, James. My problem when I said that. Matthews can, he completely shut down Danault completely shut down Matthews. We have to give credit. But now he's going to maybe shut down Sheffley. I agree with you. He can do that. But the problem is not Sheffley. It's because after that, you have the Peter Stastny line behind that. And then after that, you still have Adam Lowry, where physicality is going to bring a lot of forecheck on your defenseman. And that's why, for me, Montreal don't have, maybe they have to split Jake Evans with Philippe Danault to get that kind of the line where they can shut down maybe the second line. But that's what maybe the difference between Winnipeg and Toronto, in my book, is right there. That's what I believe Montreal will struggle a little bit more to cover the top 6 because they have only one line to respond back.
I'll be interested to see, because Shifley is usually a guy that is actually, they're not a transition scoring team. They're a team that waits for their opportunities and they score in tight and they use their size. So when we say speed, the only guy that plays a speed game to me is Ehlers. And, you know, Montreal definitely had a lot of trouble with Nylander early on, but I don't know if Shifley is going to be the same as Matthews. I mean, they're going to collapse around Carey Price and make it difficult, but I think guys like Connor and Wheeler and Shifley are very comfortable in the trenches. And I think Stastny is not a guy you check; he checks you.
Yeah. On the same side, Yamo said, what do you do with Tatar? I would not see Tatar, at least Montreal struggled, no go, win-win. Tatar is done in Montreal. What he did during the practice, Michael, he lost the respect for the rest of the team, I believe. He's done. I don't see at least something happen, but I don't see that part, to be honest with you. Caulfield played with Anderson. Right now he played with Suzuki. Anderson shifting a couple of times, play with Toffoli normally. Anderson's a guy, at some point he played Perry and Staal together. Erik Staal, Michael, with all my, I'm hard on him. He got 4 assists against Toronto, and he played overall 3 good games against Toronto. So I have to give him credit. I think sometime a 6'4" show up more sometime compared to a 5'10", a 5'11", but maybe he's not have the speed, but the way he played the body, the game smart, the smartest he can play, maybe it's fun for him. And then at the end of the day, he said, Yamo said, they just have all the focus on McDavid, Trussell. Now different story, I guess, focus on their own game. I don't think so. It's good enough for them. I think Winnipeg get in 6. And finally, Michael, we passed the 5 minutes after 12. We want to finish and keep everybody back home and then come back to do their own stuff. And then tonight we are back. My last question to you is about just a 2-minute quick about the game between Vegas and Colorado. And my question, same question to you, Michael, to you guys in the comments is, what do you expect from Vegas? What do you expect them to go to play tonight? And with that, what will be like your prediction of the game?
I mean, I think Vegas has got to come out and play a much tighter game. They had a lot of defensive miscues. And so, and then Colorado is going to capitalize on that. I think it'll be a much tougher game, but I still think Colorado will come over with a win. Okay.
Do you believe like a 3-goal or a 2-goal or a 1-goal or?
Yeah, maybe like I don't know. It might be a 4-2 game again now.
4-2? So you don't
like
see Fleury
that fourth one might. Well, I think that will be a difference. I think it'll be really close, and then they'll get an empty netter.
Yeah, Michael was on that think I like you, Michael. He said 4-2. Yamo think about +4 goal from Colorado.
I'd be surprised. I can't see
surprised myself too.
Vegas playing that bad twice in a row.
Yeah. Maybe that's fun I can see on ours 5-2 or 4-1. That's what I see. Or it could be a 6-3, but
let that happen.
I'll be honest with you. Vegas, Michael, is not going to be more offensive. They're going to collapse more. They're going to play more defensive to play physicality and that. So they did not create a lot of goal, score a lot of goal in my book, what I expect tonight. And it's not easy again, Colorado anyway. 4-2, 5-3, Yamo. Yeah, for me, it makes more sense. Go Caps. Welcome back. We are leaving, buddy. Hopefully your score is pretty good. Like Michael, I have Colorado up 3-2, then an empty net goal. That's something could happen. So, Michael, anything you want to add before we go? And you said, everybody, thank you so much, everybody. And Don't forget to click on the
luck,
like. We
Detroit.
get about 7-8 people. We want to thank Yamo, of course. We like to, thanks Michael Rosenblatt. James, again, always a great to say hi. And Yoshi, welcome, both of you, James and Yoshi. You're regular this morning. We love to have you. I think Vegas made me come back. I'll be hard to be honest with you, but they don't put Leonard in the back and the line and the goal. That's for sure. Eddie said, in his own words, unfinished business. That's really true. Colorado win tonight. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate every one of you. We did not see Tim this morning. The Gator Tim, we was not bored this morning. We saw Matt Mann at some point. Go Cap just came back. Cap always come from the school. And other young kids love to game, everything like that. So Fleury would be there, my friend. Yoshi is going to be in the lineup. So thanks, Michael Devellano. Thank you, everybody. Have an amazing, great day. We look forward to see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And for everybody else, just want to remember, we're going to be live tonight at 6:45 for the pre-draft, for the draft lottery, and of course, and also we're going to talk about the pre-game between the Montreal Canadiens and the Winnipeg Jets. Mike, thanks, Michael. Have an amazing, great day, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Yes, Yoshi. No Ryan Reeves. 2 games suspended. You're absolutely right, James. Thank you, James, to be here this morning. Not easy for sure, Yoshi. Thanks again, Yoshi. And remember, what are you talking, Coach? You have greatness inside of you. Have an amazing, great day, everybody. Look forward to you tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. And don't forget, tonight, 6:45, we'll be back for another great show. Thank you, James. Appreciate a lot. Very kind from you guys. I agree with you, Yosh. Thank you, buddy. See you tonight, Yoshi. Me too, James. Great game.